I am Vivek Hadley. I am a litigation partner here at Taft Stettinius and Hollister. At larger firms, they're generally divided into litigation and then transactional work. Transactional work is businesses buying other businesses or selling components of their businesses, stuff like that. Litigation is, broadly speaking, people fighting about usually the businesses that they tried to sell or tried to buy, or, court. Criminal cases, if someone's been charged with a crime, sometimes, we'll defend that person, but it's usually the fighting part of law. I played a little bit of jazz in high school in like a big band setting, so that's where you've got 5 saxophones, 4 trombones, 4 trumpets, and then a rhythm section, all playing, orchestrated, written out pieces. When I went to Ball State, I kept playing in the big bands, but I also did, it's called combo stuff. It's more, it might be just one wind instrument and then a rhythm section. And then I still do some big band stuff. If there's a big band that needs a pianist, I'll sit in and play with them. But mainly I do smaller group playing. So just show up to a gig. Usually there's no music exchange beforehand. No one even knows what they're gonna play. And you get up to the bandstand and someone will call a tune, that's what they call it. And then if you know the tune, you're like, yeah, that sounds good. What key? And then you kind of just launch into it and make it up on the spot. I do think there's an overlap between being a jazz musician and being a lawyer, strangely enough. The big thing is, I remember there was a joke on The Simpsons where Homer is talking to Lisa and he says, what's the big deal about jazz music? They're just making it up as they go. And the joke is that you actually have to do a lot of studying and a lot of practicing and a lot of rehearsal beforehand before you can get to the stage where you can just make it up and not embarrass yourself. And I think a lot of law practice, especially a lot of litigation, is kind of the same. If you're in court, you might not have memorized exactly what you're going to say to the judge. You might not have memorized exactly the questioning that you're going to do for a witness. You might not have memorized your closing argument word for word. But if you prep a lot beforehand and you really know what's going on in the case, you could then kind of make it up on the spot with that background information. So that's kind of the same process as jazz, is learn as much as you can before your quote-unquote performance, and then once you're performing, just sort of be natural and let it all come out. Before I had kids, I was at the Chatterbox at least once, probably twice a week. The great thing about being a jazz musician is you can show up to a place like the Chatterbox and sit in, they call it, which basically means the band that's playing, they'll let you play a song or two. So I used to do that once or twice a week at the Chatterbox. I play a lot of kind of cocktail piano at a steakhouse called Geraldine's, and every once in a while I'll have a gig at the Jazz Kitchen.